Hey guys, Greg from FactionFab with another new product. We are excited to be releasing our own line of sway bars for most Subaru WRX and STI models. These are the perfect addition to your suspension to help reduce body roll and dial in more controlled cornering performance. Our sway bars are constructed with solid spring steel and powder coated black for an OEM plus look. We also made sure to include supporting locks and braces where required, but what really makes our sway bar kit stand out is a revolutionary bushing design. Most sway bar bushings require grease to prevent squeaking and binding. If the car is driven daily and in any sort of inclement weather, this grease often washes away, requiring at least yearly maintenance to apply new grease. Well, not anymore. Using a PTFE lining on the inside, we are offering a bushing that completely eliminates the need for long-term bushing maintenance. PTFE, or polytetrafluoroethylene, is also known by the brand name of Teflon when made by DuPont. It's a non-stick and non-reactive substance, which basically means that it's very slippery and wear resistant. We've taken a PTFE fabric and impregnated it into the inner surface of our polyurethane bushings. The polyurethane holds the sway bar in place, contributing to predictable control, and the PTFE lining allows it to twist without noise and with virtually no wear. A sway bar, also called an anti-roll bar, is designed to do just that, reduce body roll when turning. But how exactly does it work? Let's jump under the car to see what it does. So you can see the sway bar has 4 different mounting points. The 2 here in the middle with the red bushings connect the sway bar to the subframe and keep it in place. Then the 2 outer points are tied to each suspension arm with the end link. The sway bar connects both sides to prevent too much compression on one side of the vehicle. It does this by borrowing spring rate from the other side of the vehicle. As a little experiment, I've removed one side of the stock suspension. With the sway bar disconnected, you can see that the control arm and knuckle move without resistance. Now let's connect the sway bar and see what happens with the suspension still removed on the one side. So it does this because the spring rate that's here in the suspension goes through our sway bar. As it twists, it then pushes back down on this side as well. Now, when it comes to controllable cornering, the biggest contributor is the suspension spring rate and damper valving. Generally, the theory is a higher spring rate keeps the car more stable when doing performance driving, but this also leads to a very uncomfortable experience for the driver or passengers, as well as potential grip loss on rougher surfaces. A sway bar is designed to take on some of that load, but only when approaching a certain limit while cornering. Since the sway bar connects the 2 sides of the vehicle together, when one side starts to compress beyond a certain range, which would be the outside wheel in the corner, it transfers the load to the other side or the inside wheel when the other side starts pushing back down on the sway bar. This can effectively increase the spring rate on the outside while turning, but when driving straight, you can get away with a softer spring rate that will be more comfortable over bumps or during a daily drive. Now, as we mentioned in the beginning of the video, sway bars are constructed of a high-strength spring steel that is designed to twist under the suspension articulation. The amount of flex is typically controlled by bar thickness, with the thicker bar allowing for less twisting. Daily driven vehicles and even most race cars require some articulation to maintain grip over suboptimal road surfaces. So the goal is to find a balance that works in tandem with your vehicle spring rates to provide predictable performance while driving straight and through turns. You can also alter some driving characteristics, such as front or rear suspension bias with sway bars. For most of our Subaru applications, which tend to understeer a bit too much, simply adding a thicker rear sway bar is a great way to shift the bias to the rear, which can help the car rotate and oversteer easier. Or when adding both the front and rear sway bars, you can utilize the adjustable mounting points to fine-tune where you want the bias to be. Now, we've done extensive testing to offer a thicker sway bar size that we feel works best with OEM and common coilover spring rates that are intended for performance, street, and light track use. As mentioned before, our sway bars come with adjustable mounting points on the end that enable you to dial in how much flex and control you want in your sway bars. Using the outside or end mounting points gives your car more leverage to twist the sway bar, making it less effective and more compliant, while using the inside mounting points gives the sway bar more leverage and control. With these options, you can make them work for you, no matter what suspension or driving surface you are on. Now, as always, feel free to email us if you have any questions about the products at sales@factionfab.com, and we will see you next time.